back to Slay the Stars in episode 27. Last time, Zem and Char said goodbye to the bounty hunters Laura and Rush, who were slain in the fighting. They discovered that Rush possessed a similar book to the one that Adhara carried and did a little research at the library. They met back up with Char's parents and Karina and decided that Zem and Karina would go to dinner with Madame Toslane while Char spends the evening with his parents. That is where we're going to pick up. Zem, you and Karina find Toslane's home easy enough. It's enormous.
Of course.
Imagine, like I don't want to say governor's mansion because there is a governor of Mor'Bhaile, but it gives off that like austere presence.
Self-important.
Yes. And when you get there, there is a butler standing at the door. They check your note. They've obviously already been notified that you're coming, but they're just making sure your paper is in order. And he looks at it. He looks and he says, I was expecting you and a man. It's just the two of you?
Yes, there has been a change this evening.
Oh, I imagine that's fine. Come, I'll take you to the sitting room. And you're escorted into this home. There are busts displayed everywhere of who you would assume are probably her ancestors, paintings on the wall that are done, like oil paintings, things like that. Everything is real wood, real stone. The craftsmanship is perfect. Eventually, Toslane comes in. She's totally fine with Karina being there because Karina is delightful, regardless of what some people believe. And you pass a wonderful evening. You don't spend a lot of time talking shop. It's sort of just like a girls' night.
Nice.
Talking, hanging out. Eventually, you finish the meal with some champagne, and you're seen to your room for the night. Are you and Karina going to stay in the same room, or would you like separate rooms?
We can stay in the same room.
All right.
Make it like a sleepover.
Yeah. Well, and that the moment the door shuts, Karina runs over to the bed, jumps on it, and she's like, "Oh my God, we haven't had a sleepover in so long."
It's been years.
I feel like a kid again, not just because of this, but also because Char's parents treat me like a child all the time.
Oh, do you? Do you feel like a kid again? And I'm going to take a pillow and I'm going to whap her with it. Like
she sells it majorly and falls backwards. Oh no. And then she grabs one and she throws it at you. She's like, I've missed just having fun. This has been really hard.
It has, but I have to say, meeting up with you again in life after secondary school has been eye-opening. And
what do you mean? I hope you mean that in a good way.
I do, because I don't know about you, but back then, man, I pretended a whole lot of things and I went along with a whole lot of crap that I never would have done if it weren't for being in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get the feeling that you felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got a little bit of like a reputation for being a certain way, and I sort of ran with it, you know?
We all did. I mean, we all did. There are some things that I regret from that time. But
like what?
I mean, you know.
I don't know. What? Tell me.
I mean, like whenever I was dating that guy, like,
oh, that guy.
What happened was not cool.
Are we not saying his name now?
Like, I mean, I can say it. I just feel guilty about it. I don't really like to talk about it.
Oh, like, you mean because you totally decimated him and he was like head over heels in love with you?
Yeah, that.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it that way. Well, you'll be happy to know that he's married now.
Chris is married?
He's married. He has a kid.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why they're married. You know what I mean? But like, we don't have to get into
I
that.
mean, that would have had to have been right away.
Yeah, it was super right away.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we're not old enough to be married.
I mean, you didn't ask me who we married.
Oh no. Wait, how do you even know this?
Listen, I spend a lot of time in Saltspire, and it may be a big city, but it's a small town, if you know what I mean.
I do. And this is why I don't know, because I didn't want to know, because I tried real hard to leave all that behind. But tell me, who's he married to now?
You don't want to know.
You just told me I did.
I know, but when I say it, you're going to be so upset.
I mean, it's not you, right?
No. Oh my god. No. Ew. No, it's Cassandra, who was like the leader of your mean girl group.
I like for a second I just look at her, like blink, and then I bust out laughing like
Oh my god, for a moment there I thought you were going to cry and I felt so bad. I am so glad that you thought it was as funny as I did because oh my god, of course.
Oh, they deserve each other.
They do.
Well, all right. Okay.
So you don't have to feel bad for him anymore. He's clearly got his hands full because she's a handful.
Yeah, that's definitely one person I would be happy not coming across again.
Same. Same.
Mm.
I'm just imagining like the butlers and the maids like outside like telenovela, like Cassandra. That bitch.
So but like what about you though? What have you been doing in the years in between besides this fabulous new skill that you have?
No, I've been just trying to make it, you know? I really, really love music. And I know I didn't really telegraph it that much back in school, but I'm, I found what I'm passionate at. And I'm good at it. Maybe I'm not rich and famous yet, but people are starting to know who I am, and I actually make money.
People do know who you are.
Yeah, it's insane, and as frustrating as his parents can be, they're really sweet. And I mean, they're about as famous as you can be as bards, and they're willing to help me. And I kind of love them. They've sort of adopted me, which is nice. I don't, and
Really?
she gets a little like sad for a moment, and she's like, my mom died.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it actually happened back in school. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't really have anybody after that except for my friends. And so when I set off to become a bard, I was like, I'm already by myself. I might as well do this. So once I started traveling with Amaryllis and Finn, and they miss him, you know?
I do.
And I think that I miss my mom and they miss their son, and it's kind of in a really fucked up way, like it works for us.
Yeah. I mean, it's not fucked up. It's not. What's fucked up is having your mom chase you across the freaking continent.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Your mom's crazy.
The only reason I survived my childhood are because of his parents. I know. They're wonderful.
They are.
But we don't have to talk about sad things.
Okay.
Launches pillow.
But like one more sad thing.
I mean, if you have to.
I I really want to come with you guys, but I feel like you're not going to let me.
Yeah. It's really dangerous.
Everything's really dangerous.
I mean, like, I don't know how to explain this, and part of it isn't my story to tell. I have God. So there's someone pursuing me. But they have magical means to find me and come at me through the people that are around me and hurt the people that are around me. And I just don't think that it is smart to add to that.
No, I understand. That makes sense.
I mean, I know you can handle your own. You've survived thus far, but I think that you need to stay with his parents. I think you're all targets too, and it's best not to put us all in the same location.
Where can I take them that's safe?
There's a woman that we met on the way here who can probably help direct you where to go. Her name is Kai, and she has a lovely home, although I might be the only one that finds it lovely, in the woods. And I can find a map and show you generally where to find it, but I would stop and see her, maybe.
All right.
She's very smart, and she sees things. She knows things.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we can do that.
What's more, and don't be so mad at me, but there's a delegation coming from the school.
Okay. Yeah.
They're part of they represent a lot of danger. We need to go, and you need to go. So I think you need to go tomorrow. Probably pretty early. That's why I was pushing Char to stay with his parents tonight, so that he had some time with them before.
Yeah.
Because as much as I would love to promise them that we'll see them all again, I just don't know. I mean, the likelihood seems scarier and scarier every day.
Well, I'm not going to think like that. I am going to think positively because I am a positive person. And I'll keep them safe.
You know what I'm positive about?
What?
I'm positive that I want to know who you've been seeing.
Well, and that is where we're going to cut that scene. It just fades into more girly discussions until the two of them eventually just pass out because they're both exhausted from the day. Char.
Oh my god, adrenaline.
Yeah. Char, you have a nice dinner with your parents. They know Mor'Bhaile. They've been here quite a few times as bards. So they take you to their favorite little restaurant in town where they serve, we'll say like Italian food. There's like pasta and stuff going on because like that feels very family meal to me. And eventually you get back to the room. You guys walk in, everybody's kind of in a good mood. You've relaxed slightly. You've unclenched a bit. But as soon as you set foot in the room and your mom shuts the door and she turns to you and says, "Okay, we need to talk immediately." Reclenched.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
It's been nice talking about baseball and things like that, but yeah, baseball. That's what we're talking about. Baseball.
What are you talking about?
We've been talking about sports and you're doing the thing where you talk about everything except for the things you need to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Avoidance.
I'm like baseball and D&D. Like, am I having an aneurysm?
Yeah,
right
there's
now?
definitely baseball. It's the imperial sport.
Okay.
Anyway, she says it's nice to just talk about random things and stuff, but we need to talk for real.
All right. Go ahead.
What the hell?
Char's gonna have some of Zem's snarkiness a little bit. Like, that's a little broad, but okay.
First of all, how dare you?
You come here. My house. No.
Why haven't you written to us?
Honestly, because I didn't want to let you know that I left. That I was not finding anything to do with my life. And you guys seemed so natural in yours, in everything that you do. And I just couldn't.
Char, before you were born, your father and I spent days sleeping on park benches and eating scraps we were given from leftover foods in taverns because we couldn't afford the actual meals and stuff. We know what it's like to struggle. We would never judge you for being a little lost.
You guys, regardless, always knew what you wanted to do. You knew. You've told me the stories. Yeah, it's great. You never gave up on your dreams, and I'm not diminishing the struggles on either side. I never had a talent. I never had the skill or the drive or just want to be around. And then I did, and then it was gone again. And then a path was forcibly placed.
What does that mean?
Skill sets that I never had before. I had. And it is where I think I need to go.
That is so vague.
What the hell isn't vague?
I just don't understand. Make me how are you doing magic? You went to be a monk and then you decided not to be a monk. You decided to be a wizard? Is that what you are?
No. No, I'm not a wizard. I don't have the patience or just power for magic that Zem does. Mine is way more complicated. And I didn't learn it. I was given it. And I need you to trust that whoever gave it to me doesn't want people to know that they did.
Your mom looks concerned. Roll me an insight check.
16.
That is my third 2 in a row.
Different dice, right?
It's a different dice. It's been the person who is giving you this power. What do they look like? When your mom says that, you hear some fear in her voice.
I'm going to start broad and like starting to trickle down, see like where on her reactions like gauge. Ancient, older, hair color, presence of a room, etc., going all the way down to describing at least simple facial features. And I just want to see where along the lines that like if they start freaking out.
The moment you start describing Amara's command of a room, you see your mother's eyes go a little bit wide, and as soon as you start describing the face, the blonde hair, the facial features, she inhales deeply and then looks back towards your dad, and his eyes are wide, and she's just like, I see. Okay.
Do you know them?
Just, I know this person and I trust them. I'm glad that she is offering you guidance.
Do they offer you some?
In a way. At that point, your mom she's very flustered, and you can tell she's really thinking hard about something, and your dad steps forward and he says, okay, we can move on from that topic. Char, if you are mixed up with her, with that, and that's related to everything that's happening, You need to hide.
We're working on that.
Are you, or are you just running into more danger?
You act like the danger isn't going to find me either way. If anybody needs to go in hiding, it's you.
They're not after us.
Yeah, they are.
If that's true, and they're hunting all of us, the smartest thing to do would be to stick together so that we have the numbers to protect one another.
No. Look, I'm sorry that I wasn't the best during that period of time. And you see, like, he kind of relaxes a little bit. Like, regardless of going into hiding, I have to help stop whatever the hell is going on. And they're after you because they're after me.
What do you want us to do?
He's going to pull out whatever money's left. He's got like 7 platinum. You guys need to just stay inconspicuous.
Your parents are like, we don't give us money. That you need that, if anything. Where did you get 7 platinum?
Zem is a very good negotiator.
All right.
You chuck one under the bus, I'll chuck you under the...
That's only fair. I mean, I am a criminal's child.
I need you safe. Because if you guys are gone, then I will have nothing left to lose. And I'll stop being safe. Do you even understand how fucked everything else is right now?
Things are hard, but things are always hard. I don't know what you mean.
Zombies. Zombie animals are coming out of the woods. Monsters are attacking out of fire.
Well,
People that we
yes,
thought we could trust.
the
We can't. Familiar relations for most people apparently are bullshit. And you guys are good people. And if you are gone because you're good people and people are coming after me, then there's nothing left.
Char, there are people in this world whose job it is to protect it. It doesn't have to be you.
It doesn't have to be. But what if it is?
You don't want to lose us, but we don't want to lose you. We feel like you've been gone for so long. It was like losing you, and now you leaving on some quest that might get you killed feels like losing you all over again.
This gives me something to figure out what's going on with me, to help Zem solve whatever she needs to figure out, why they're after her, why they're even after Karina.
Karina.
We can solve a lot of it. I truly believe that.
Do you truly believe that?
I do now.
Roll me a persuasion check. With advantage.
I didn't choose the refugee life. The refugee life chose me.
So, not bad, actually, but I still have a minus. 15 total.
Seeing you say that with so much confidence behind it, more confidence than your parents have ever seen you speak about anything ever in your whole life. Your mother stops protesting. All right. But you have to promise me that if this gets too big and too hard, you'll give it up. It's not worth losing you. And it's not worth losing Zamira.
We have a chance to do something, and I will be as safe as possible while doing so. And I'm going to see it through, because I think there's some good to be done here. Because I could have lived a quiet life as a blacksmith or making glass. There's a life that could have been, and I would have hated every goddamn second of it. We're seeing this through, and I'm going to solve it. I would have hated every second if I had to do that, and I was ready to do it. But I wasn't prescient when I was there. And now I have something that I can do and make sure that you guys will be safe. Then yeah, I'm going to do it. You want to tell me what that roll was for?
Nope.
Your dad puts his arm around your mom and he says, "You know, Amaryllis, he is our child, and he's right. A life of normalcy would probably not have been enough for him." And she glances over her shoulder at him and just nods her head. And he says, "All right, we'll go along with this. I can't ask you to not do this thing that you're so passionate about." When he's talking to her, you can tell that he's trying to convince her of a few things. He's being very forceful, like, this is your son. He needs to do this for him, basically.
And I will see you again.
Of course you will. There's no other alternative. I refuse to think of it that way.
He's going to pull some paper and pen out of a bag. I'm going to put a couple names on here of people that you can trust. And also a list of names of people you absolutely cannot. And I want you to keep this very close to the chest and not tell anybody where you got it.
It would be unfortunate if I were to mix these lists up, wouldn't it?
Yep.
I'm kidding. I'm
Yep.
kidding.
It would.
Just trying to make a light moment.
So, no, sure, lass. It's just...
Write your list. But if we agree to this and do this your way, you have to do something for us tonight.
I'm not singing.
You're singing.
Fuck.
So, I need you to roll me a performance check, Char.
9 minus 1.
All right. All right. Those are better. So, Char, you write your note. Your father accepts it. And then he and your mother drag you out of the room downstairs to the lobby of the inn, where they force you to perform with them for the evening, singing their songs that you remember. And you don't sing a ton recently. The whole thing, the whole evening, the whole day has you pretty choked up and stressed, but your parents are able to carry you guys through. You make some tips. It's a bittersweet moment. Eventually, you all return to the room for the night. The next morning, Zem, Toslane has breakfast laid out for you and Karina. You guys eat. Toslane says that she will meet you at the entrance to Old Mor'Bhaile in about an hour if you want to go collect Char.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
All right.
Also, I meant to mention last night before I went to bed, I did write out a letter to give to the headmaster upon arrival.
Okay. And are you giving that to Toslane to give?
I will, but not quite yet.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I've said everything I need to say. I just want to ponder it before I actually give it to her.
Okay. Perfect. So eventually, Char, you and your parents are having breakfast in the cafeteria area of the inn, and Zem shows up to collect you for the morning. Karina's like, "Are you saying we have to leave now?"
I mean, you can collect yourselves, but you probably should, yeah. And I'm gonna go over to, like, when we get there, I'll go over to his parents and I'll give them both a hug and tell them I was, happy to see you and I will miss you, but I will take care of him.
They both give you a hug like at the same time, so you get that big family hug, and Amaryllis whispers to you, just take care of him, okay?
Of course. I will.
Roll me a perception check.
I don't think I had anything, but let me just make sure. Yep, still a +0. 13. Ooh, I get to roll. Okay, hold on. I'm going to roll. I'm not changing it. It's still 13. But I do get to roll. I
Your
don't know where
portents?
that went.
Here it is.
Yeah, I'm going to roll portents. Sorry. Thank you. 8 and 14.
All right. Karina walks over to them and tells them basically that they need to get packed up and get ready to leave. And surprisingly enough, Char, they do not put up a fight. They sort of expected this. And after they give Zem a hug goodbye, they turn to you and they wrap you in a big hug as well. I need you to roll me a perception check.
That is a critical failure.
Perfect.
I get stabbed in the back. Yeah!
And they say to you, just, we'll see you again. Okay. With that, the two of you are free to head to the old city. Anything you guys want to discuss before you get there?
So, how did it go? Did you
Great.
have a good visit?
You told them about Sandra? Like the entire way up. Like,
No, they didn't hear that from me.
sure as shit didn't hear it from him.
They deserve to know when you're happy. That you're happy. When you're happy.
And clap her hands.
Yeah. I just wanted them to have something positive to hold on to. And you.
Fair. How was you guys' night?
Ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Zem looks tired. They probably stayed up too late talking.
She's exactly the same and also very different at the same time. I don't know how to explain that. I feel like we both understand that a lot of our youth was just us being young and dumb.
I hate to break it to you. We're still young and dumb.
No, I get that, but like we've also had a lot of growth over the past 2 years and a lot of starting to understand who we are as people and not just groups of awful teenage girls.
Good.
At this point, Char, you feel in your pocket, when you put your hand in, you feel coins there
Son of a
that you didn't
bitch.
notice last time.
God.
And something else. And you pull it out, and it's a ring that your dad gave your mom for one of their anniversaries. You can't remember exactly. And it's just this thin silver band that's worked with like some like leaves and like flowers almost. And on the inside of the band, it's engraved. It just says, I will always find you. Zem, in your pocket, you also find some coinage.
Nice.
So between the two of you, Char, you quickly realize it's the tips you made last night.
God damn it.
Between the two of you, there's probably like 5 silver pieces, 5 gold pieces, something like that. 5 silver, 5 gold.
I'm assuming that they did not take any money then.
They did not.
God damn it.
I sent them in the direction of Kai.
She's on my list.
Good. Wait, list?
Good list. Good list.
You're making lists?
No, I made a list of people they can trust and who they shouldn't.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of people that...
Suck.
Yeah.
So you make it to the entrance to the old city, and Toslane is waiting there with the same 4 guards. And she immediately puts on a big smile when she sees you, and she says, "Oh, perfect timing. Shall we?"
Yes.
Does anything seem different about her?
No. You start walking in, and it is striking. When you grew up hearing stories about the dwarves, this is what you remember being told about. A huge city inside of a mountain with the ceiling is so high. You can't even imagine 200, 300 feet, hard to tell, but it's been like magical lamps that have been set into it that sparkle almost like starlight above you. And the ground has been mined out, but it's like smooth. And there's been like a lacquer put over it, so it's shiny and reflects some of that light. And in the twilight, we'll call it, you can see just buildings everywhere. Homes, stores, shops, this whole community underground that, for lack of a better word, dwarfs anything you see outside in what is new Mor'Bhaile.
That was on purpose.
And there are people here. You were also under the impression that most of the dwarves had moved outside of the old city and into the new city, but that doesn't seem to be the case at all. There's a thriving community here of people who still live within the mountain. And set off in the back, you see the inner entrance to Ereth Dahl, the dwarven keep that had been the central point of the dwarven kingdom for thousands of years. And it takes you a bit. It's kind of quiet as the two of you are just eyes darting around, taking all of this in. Eventually, you get up to the doors. Nobody stops you because Toslane is with you. The doors are opened immediately, and you are escorted into a palace made entirely of stone. A lot of the pillars look like they were hewn out of the mountain itself. They weren't created and brought in, they were just carved in place. And along the walls, you see these frescoes, these paintings and murals that depict these great wars that you've never heard of, where the dwarves succeeded in vanquishing dragons and things out of legend that you've never even thought of as real. And eventually you're taken to the throne room. And there's no throne. Behind where the throne would be, there is a hole that's been cut out of the wall now. You can see the rubble where some of this must have fallen away. And behind it is where this hidden room was. And there are guards there, standing watch. And Toslane walks up, and she says to them, "Well, I've brought these people here because they could potentially help us. Please don't allow anybody in as long as I'm in there." And they just nod, and she gestures for the two of you to follow her inside. And I have a map of this room, thanks to my BFF, Fungeon, because I'm not good at maps, and he is literally the best. So you can find that map on our social media pages, on our Patreon. It's going to be posted everywhere. And if you want to see some of the cool stuff he's doing, you should follow him at fmaster90 on Twitter. Thank you so much, Fungeon. I love you. All right. So, incoming map. As you both step through this hole in the wall and into this room, you think back to what you know of this war. that happened, what you've read, some of the things that you read yesterday at the library in the books. Even though the dwarves were better fighters, more experienced, they were squashed between this force coming from the south and the drow force coming in through the mines behind them. They had nowhere to fall back. And it was clear that they weren't going to win. The dwarves knew they weren't going to win. And in those moments, they had time to prepare. And it seems that what the last king of the dwarves prepared was this room. It's almost like a time capsule. And you get this distinct feeling of like, I'm not supposed to be here. This is not a place for me. There's no light in here. You're given candles to walk in, and Toslane says, we haven't tried casting magic in here yet because we're not sure what we'll find. We don't know what's stored here, so just be careful. So you walk in with these candles, and you see in front of you that there are 6 statues that are almost acting as mannequins, because on each one, there's a suit of armor, beautifully made armor. 3 that look to be made out of steel, 2 that are a little different. They are that silver color, like steel, but they look thinner. And the shine is different. It's more like a silver than a steel. The last set, however, is jet black. And when you shine your candle on it, it gives off this green sheen. Each one is stamped or etched with a sigil that is made up of 3 pieces: a mountain, a hammer, and a crown. There are multiple chests along the walls that are unopened currently. There are racks of well-made weapons. And at the back of the room, on a raised platform, you see the missing throne. And this was... So, you know how after World War II, there were a lot of like paintings and things like that went missing?
Rediscovery kind of thing.
Yeah. The missing dwarven throne was one of those things. People would say like, oh, it was smuggled out of the city to be saved, or, no, the drow took it back with them, to tell Nim as like a trophy, and they just don't want people to know. But there it is. This huge, solid wooden throne with different iron spikes and stuff sitting off of it. And laying across at the foot of the throne is a huge warhammer. Enormous. And on a table next to it, you see a crown, golden, gleaming, with 5 rubies set into the front of it. And to the left of the throne, there is a huge iron statue, it looks like. What are the 2 of you doing? Toslane is standing back by the entryway, watching what you're doing to make sure you don't do anything super shady, but letting you both look around.
I don't want to touch anything, but I am going to, like, as detail inspect as I can. I'm going to start with the 6 statues.
I'm going to look towards Toslane, and has anyone been through here yet into the room itself?
No, we sent for one of the mages we actually have in the city, and they came, they looked in, and they said that they were afraid to cast magic here. It was above their pay grade, so that was when we asked for Stellium to come.
All right, I'm going to take out some of the incense and start ritually casting outside of the room, detect magic.
Okay.
I'm in it, and I'm circling the 6 statues. And like what I'm looking at, like, yes, I'm looking at the suits of armor, but I'm also like, I'm looking at the statues themselves. Like, are the faces different? Do they look like they're different statues? Are they all the same like base just with the different armor on them? Does it look like there's any pieces that move? I would assume if they have the armor on them that they like
Have a way to get them off.
yeah.
Okay. I need you to roll me 2 things. I need you to roll me a perception check, and I need you to roll me a history check.
Perception is lighter and history is darker. So 13 for perception, and then I'm gonna use my
Portent?
for the history, and that's gonna be a 17.
You're looking at these statues, and they don't look to be articulated. They look to be stone statues, marble. Each one is different, however, very detailed. They were definitely made in people's likeness. As you're glancing at the sigil and you're looking at each of them, you know that this sigil that they bear is the crest of the former ruling family of Mor'Bhaile. So your guess is that they are maybe some sort of Kingsguard, potentially. As you look at the armor, specifically the 2 types that you're unsure of, as you get closer, you can see that the not steel but still silver armor, it's so thin. Are you touching it?
Not yet. I wasn't gonna touch anything yet.
It's so thin, you're questioning how it could even possibly protect somebody. And then you look at the dark jet black armor, and you are unfamiliar with what kind of metal this could even be. It doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before, and that green shine that it gives off is almost ethereal.
Okay.
As you're looking, Char, you finish up casting Detect Magic. You take a step into the room, and you immediately notice a couple things. The armor, the 3 sets that were in question, are all magical, enchanted.
The ones that are
somehow.
not just steel, you mean?
Yeah, the ones that are not just steel. That hammer leaning against the throne, incredibly powerful also. The iron statue next to the throne and the crown seem to be sharing some sort of magical connection. They're giving off the same vibe. And that statue is not a statue.
Zem?
And as you're having this thought, you see behind the throne. How do I describe this?
Nicely.
A small signature of illusion magic reaches out towards the crown.
I'm going to chuck a dart. Seriously.
Okay.
100% throwing a dart.
Roll.
It's really good. 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
6 damage.
All right.
I actually rolled max damage on a dart.
It's a hand, but I guess you would see the outline of the hand in illusion magic. As it's reaching out, you pin it right in the center with this dart. And in that moment, you hear this like, ah! Scream.
Zem, there's somebody behind the throne.
There's somebody behind the like, and I, as you say that, and then
And
as
then
I'm saying,
chuck the
as
dart
there's,
past your head.
and like I'm like, what the hell?
And at that moment, you hear the scream. Char, you see this blur of illusion magic run towards the crown. It grabs the crown off the table, and the crown seems to like disappear as it gets shoved into something's cloak. And all of a sudden, you hear like a
Zem, back away from the statue
as
now.
the iron statue by the throne starts to move. And I need you both to roll initiative.
I got a 6.
It's a 9 for me, dog.
The statue starts moving, coming to life. You watch it stand up, this huge, hulking mass of iron. It pulls out this giant hammer. It comes down towards you, Zem, and it is going. Oh, Shar, since you still have detect magic up, you would see that this invisible thing starts running and ducks and hides behind some of the boxes, chests that are against the wall. Zem, this thing's coming to take a swing at you. Yeah, that's a 18 to hit.
So even if I cast shield,
Shield has +5.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
18.
Yeah, it's not gonna make a difference.
That is 9 points of bludgeoning damage. As it swings down, it hits you in the back and knocks you into one of the statues. And it's your turn, Zem.
So as I am like like wheeling backwards, I'm going to throw out my old faithful witch bolt. Gonna do it at 2nd level.
Go for it.
So it is a 14 to hit.
It does not hit.
Sucks. That sucks.
Zem, you wheel around to try to attack this thing, and you're still a little dizzy from that slam, and your bolt just goes wide, hits the ground. Next up.
I'm gonna move around to the other side.
Okay.
And have cover.
Okay. Sure.
I'm going to run over to where the creature, whatever the hell it is, ducked behind. I'm going to grab it, pick it up, and start walking with it towards the statue. Like holding it out in front of me, like, this is what you probably want.
Okay, you run over. You see, once you get there, you get a good look at the outline of this person, and they're small, like gnome-sized. And you reach down to grab a hold of them, and they're like, leave me alone! Hey, what are you doing? And I need you to roll an athletics check.
13.
Yeah, no. You grab a hold of this person and you're wrangling them and dragging them towards this construct. What are you saying? Anything?
Give it back now.
This person is like, hey, what are you doing? This is mine. I found it. Leave me alone.
I'll just start shaking the person.
All right. It is the top of the round.
So I've walked towards the statue 100% in front of, holding the whatever it is, if it's a gnome, goblin, dwarf, whatever, I don't know, in front of me, shaking them, saying, give it back now.
Okay. Actually, I forgot. The guards' turn. The guards are taken aback. They do not want to walk into this room, but you see they are ushering Toslane out right now, trying to get her away from the situation. Top of the round, though, it is this person's turn. They're going to try one more time to get away from you. So, Shar, I need you to roll me another athletics check.
Natural 20.
That's unfortunate. They rolled up. That is a 6, yeah. All right, so you keep a hold of them, and it is the golem's turn. It turns, noticing that the object that it wants is in front of it. Zem, who has tried to scoot around to get out of this thing's sight range, watches as it starts to walk past her. Over towards you, Shar, and it reaches out towards you to grab a hold of. It's trying to grab the crown, but it can't see anything because this person is invisible. So it's going to try to grab a hold of this person from you. Are you going to let go of them?
If it successfully grabs onto it, yes.
Okay. Grabs a hold of this person and they're screaming, no, wait, no, I'll give it back. And they're like struggling and they grab a hold of the crown that's in their pocket and they drop it on the ground. And at that point, the construct looks down. It drops the person, goes for the crown, and it walks back up on the things. Unless you guys are going to stop it.
What kind of construct is it? Do we like
It's like a giant iron automaton.
iron? Got it.
And it walks back up and places this crown back on the pedestal. And then it goes, stands back into its place and goes back into its pose. That person who hit the ground, when they hit the ground, their invisibility drops. And you see before you a goblin. Let me send you the picture that...
There's a picture.
There is a picture. Jasper, our patron who designed this character, also did some art for them, and they are fantastic.
Oh my god.
Look at the toenails. It's so cute.
Oh my god. I love it so much.
The tail, too. Holy hell.
Yeah, it's so good.
The sparkly, glittery gold platforms, like, yes.
Yes. So the guards come running into the room, and the guards look confused, and the goblins like dusting themselves off, and they're like, well, thanks a lot. That was going to be a really nice thing to add to my stall.
Huh?
Who are you? How did you get in here?
Name's Dahl. Dahl Swin.
Well, Dahl.
How I got in here is nobody's business but my own.
I think they're going to disagree with you. And he's
So
gonna
how
point
do you
over
think
to
you're
the other
getting
two.
out of here?
Haven't figured it out yet.
Fuck.
Well, Dahl.
I would have been fine if it weren't for your friend over there who can apparently see people who are invisible.
Thank you.
I don't really appreciate the backhand I got on your behalf, Dahl.
Listen, shouldn't have gotten in the way. What are you doing in here? You're not dwarves.
Neither are you.
I'm gonna start cursing Dahl out in Dwarvish. Like, you silly little motherfucker.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, there's a lot of animosity here. You kissed your boyfriend with that mouth?
I do. That ain't it, though.
I like to imagine you both are still in Dwarvish, and like I'm the only one in the room that does not understand.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, and it's making me sad, but I really want like really colorful Dwarvish curses that the guards are even looking at me sideways.
Listen. I have to go. But you guys, come see me sometime. I have a stall in the market district. It's a pop-up kind of thing. Just ask for Dahl. They'll tell you. And
I trip him.
he falls. Ah! But he's still invisible. And you see the guard. Are you guys going to try to stop him?
Yeah. The whole point of us being in here.
Well, he's trying to run. So
I'm gonna leave them to it. I'm not gonna do any because I got nothing for this situation. So like, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I'm gonna like dust myself off while you're figuring out whatever.
All right.
Okay, it's two things. Time out. Tripping them and then pointing to the direction for the dwarves, like right there. Second thing.
They're like, oh, son of a bitch. And the guards eventually come over and they grab Dahl, and Dale's screaming the whole time, no, you can't arrest me. I have diplomatic immunity. And they're like, what the hell are you talking? And they drag them out.
Okay, time out. Second thing. While they were uninvisible, did they have any magic items on them?
Yes. A couple different trinkets, odds and ends.
Rings, earrings, the platform shoes.
All of it.
So 100% they raided this treasury and we're still having everything on it.
No. Most of those trinkets did not come from here. And you could tell whenever they were not invisible that those items, they all look custom made. They look like new money fancy. And you get like the faint signature of magic on these things, but none of them seem to be
Old.
Yeah, none of them seem to be old, and none of them seem to be super powerful or incredibly useful. But eventually, the guards drag Dahl still invisible, so it's kind of humorous to watch them drag this invisible goblin out of the room.
I'm going to look
And
over to the statue. Sorry.
Toslane peeks her head in, and she says, "Well, that was interesting."
Really was, right? So, now, like, I'm done with these statues because, like, now my interest is over here. And I'm gonna cast Mage Hand, and I want to try, like, all I want to do with the crown is this: pick it up, see if there's a response, put it back down.
Yeah, the moment the crown moves off the pedestal, the construct looks like its head up.
And when it comes back down, does it like
It stops,
rest?
powers back down.
I want to pick it up and hold it up a little bit, like same place. I'm going like a foot off of the pedestal. Is it coming towards the crown?
Yeah, it seems to be drawn towards the crown.
Okay, like the second it takes like its second step that way, I'm gonna put it back down and leave it there.
Okay, it powers back down.
And I'm done with that experiment. But then I do want to like do the mage hand over like to the construct, like, and touch the construct and see if there's any reaction there at all. And just like a touch.
Yeah, no, there does not seem to be a reaction to it being touched.
I don't know if I have the magical strength for it, but if I can like adjust the warhammer, I would like to try that test as well.
The one near the throne. You put your mage hand grips the handle and tries to move it. It can't even move it.
Okay, I kind of thought that was the case.
Do you have a spare guard out there?
A spare guard? No, but I could send one in.
Yeah, I have a theory about something.
Okay.
And until one gets here, I'm going to keep exploring. So.
Well, she immediately sends in one of her guards.
Okay, I'm going to walk with him up to the pedestal. I'm going to have a dwarf specifically try to pick up the crown. I'm going to place myself between the construct. And as soon, I'm going to say, look, pick it up. If the construct moves, put it right back down.
Okay. He picks up the crown, and the moment he touches it and lifts it up, the construct looks up over towards him. And this time it speaks. And it says,
"You are not of the king's blood."
Okay, put it back down. Put it back down.
He puts it back down, and you can see like beads of sweat. This dude is concerned.
Okay, I'm going to place myself in front of the construct as he walks out to make him feel more secure.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the end of that experiment.
Okay. Char, while you're up there on the dais, you look at the hammer. This hammer it has like a patina to it from age, but at the same time, it looks like it was just put down yesterday. There's no dust, there's no rust, nothing like that. But there are no jewels on this. It's perfectly made down to the smallest detail, but it's not a weapon of ceremony. This is a weapon for war. And inscribed on the wood of the hammer is the name Volcana's Hammer.
Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah, Volcana is the deity associated with craftsmanship, blacksmithing.
That's what I thought.
Things like that.
Anything else in the room is magically... Like the statues, the six, the statues weren't magical. It was just the armor, right?
Correct. And
the hammer is magical. Is the throne magical?
No, it doesn't appear to be.
Okay, the automaton and the crown are shared magic.
Yeah. It seems to be that the automaton itself is a magical construct, but then it also has some sort of magic, like tying it to the crown.
Like it just knows where it is kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about let me pull it back up. Chests and weapons that were just stacked, like extra weapons, or any of those weapons magical?
You can see that a lot of the weapons on the racks are basically +1 weapons. Battle axes, war hammers, swords, great swords.
Are
all
the
kinds of
chests magical?
The chests don't appear to be magical.
Okay. I'm going to... At this point, I got 10 minutes. I'm going to go up and open one.
Okay.
Left side.
You open the chest. I'm sorry, hold on. I'm excited to say this. You open the chest.
Surprise!
No. You open the chest, and there are some precious stones in there. Diamonds, rubies, sapphires, stuff like that. And there's also coinage in there. But not coin that you've ever seen minted in the Empire. And it's made out of some strange metal
No, fuck
that you're not.
Is it like a weird color?
It is. It's like a slightly weird color.
Is this Electrum?
It's electrum.
Fuck.
You just found thousands and thousands of electrum pieces.
Gotta close that now. I'm just gonna like rifle my hand through it and see if anything like pops up as magic real quick.
Nothing magical. This seems to be the king's last ditch effort to save some of the treasury,
Okay.
or to at least keep it from the Empire.
Now, if I pick one up, is it like minted with like a face, or is it just straight the electrum metal?
No, it is minted with a face, and that face would be the last king of Mor'Bhaile.
Okay. I'm gonna leave the chest open and drop the coin in, and then I'm gonna go to the other chest and open it up because you said there was 2, right? Or was there more?
Yeah, there's one on either side of the room, and the other chest has basically the same thing.
Just electrum.
Electrum and precious stones.
Yeah, again, like just combing through it, nothing pops
Nothing
up.
magical, nothing pops up.
What would I know what the magic is, like what the history is about the magic for the golem specifically?
All right, roll me a history check.
21.
All right. You actually spent a decent amount of time studying this at school because the people of Mor'Bhaile had a different relationship with magic than the rest of the world. They spent their time trying to find ways to make machines that could help them mine, that could help them protect their people. It was less a pursuit of individual power and more in pursuit of the betterment of their society. And so where a lot of other places like the Elvish nation and the humans to the south, where they spent more time developing actual spells and things like that, the dwarves took their time creating these magical automatons to serve purposes. But most of them, if not all of them, were decommissioned or lost after the Age of Splendor ended, and then especially after the war, because they had lost their ability to create a lot of these things. The Empire surely didn't want them having them as another means of trying to rise up, so you've never seen one of these in person. Most people have never seen one of these in person. They were scrapped down.
So I am gonna go take like a closer look at it, just purely from a fascination with the mechanics of it and the magic involved, and like, whoa, cool, like a discovery thing. So I'm just looking at like how it works, really.
Yeah. You roll me an investigation check.
16.
Okay. You have your candle and you take a look, and you're leaning in, looking between the plates, trying to figure out what's in there. Is it machinery and the best you can see inside of this thing is that there's a glimmer inside of it. Different precious stones, different magical items and artifacts that are stuck in this thing that must all together make this thing work. But you're having a hard time figuring out exactly. I mean, this magic would be so far advanced and a totally different magic than what you'd be used to.
I'm gonna look behind me and look at everyone else in the room, and does it seem like everyone's pretty occupied looking through here and doing stuff? Like, we're not gonna be ushered out anytime real soon.
Is anybody else even in the room? Or
So
they're still on the outside?
The dwarves have not come into this room, and after seeing that thing come to life, they are not super interested in coming in. However, Toslane is standing in the doorway, and she's like, we should probably go. We've created a bit of a ruckus, and I sort of promised that I wouldn't do that.
Real quick, it looks like there is vases or vases, whatever you want to pronounce them. Do any of them give off any magical vibes?
Nope, nothing like that.
And if I open one, what's in it? Or is it empty?
It's empty.
Okay.
They seem to be
Ashes.
they seem to be works of art that were put in here.
Okay. So nothing else seems weird. Nothing else seems magical. Just the
Nope.
electrum, the magic weapons, the armor.
Yep.
Okay. And if I peek behind the throne, is there anything written on the back of it?
Nope, nothing.
Cool.
I do on my way back through and out. I want to do two things, and then I'm done. I want to touch the dark armor, like suit of armor. I want to touch that, and the other, like I want to touch both that I'm not familiar with. See how they feel, like see how thin it is, see if there's like movement, that kind of thing.
So when you touch that one, the silver colored one, there's no give, but where it's jointed, it does feel flexible. And there's no sound as it kind of moves under your touch. The other one, when you touch it, it's hard. It's so hard, it almost doesn't even feel like metal. And that's it. That's what you notice from a cursory touch.
There's no piece that would come off easily.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. So then I will leave and then like step out of the room, but I'm digging in my bag and I'm getting out like a piece of charcoal and my notebook, and I'm furiously scribbling like diagrams, like little pictures, and I'm not going to draw anything that's like, you clearly found this in the secret room. I'm drawing like pieces. So looking into the golem, like some of the configurations that I've seen, I'm drawing that specifically. And like the way that the silver, not steel, is constructed, like I'm drawing some of the detailed pieces of that because I don't want to have this taken away from me by anyone that's seen me draw.
All right. Char, anything you're doing on the way out?
No, I'll keep Tal. My brain just gave up.
Tazlane?
Tazlane, yeah.
Mhm.
Just distracted. Like, okay, this was this. The crown and the construct are connected. Don't touch them. The hammer looks like it was created as it's a war item. Blah blah blah. It was created to be in the god's image kind of thing. Like some blacksmith clearly was very influenced. All the electrum. What I say?
No, you're fine. I had a thought. I started to speak. I didn't let you stop speaking. So that's why I was trying to say, never mind, keep going.
No, you're good. The electrum pieces and the precious metals, but nothing, and everything else just didn't seem to be magical at all,
Okay.
except the armor. And I'll explain that there was a difference between those three and the other three.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were. I just know that they're different.
Yeah. When you're describing the link between the statue and the crown, do you tell her that it said that that other guard is not of the king's blood?
Because I know that at some point that guard will say it, and I don't want to be the last one to.
Yeah. So when you tell her that, she's like, oh, God.
What's wrong? There is someone who's a descendant, isn't there?
Yes. Remember when I mentioned the third faction? That's
Oh.
them. They're going to have a field day with this. Maybe the people from Stellium will be able to break the connection. We won't have to tell them.
Oh, and the weapons don't seem to be attached, and they are also built for war. Very good weaponry.
Great. Great. All right. Well, where are you off to from here?
Well, you still have a caravan going north, right?
Yes, you asked me not to cancel that.
I figured that if there is some ability, we would hop on. I didn't want to presume.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we were going to send people north with Maya anyway, with some supplies and notes and important things. It would be nice to have the two of you there to help escort, if you're willing to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as no one knows deliberately that we have what we have.
No, certainly. It'll be easy enough. I'll just tell them.
No one outside of who we're traveling with, obviously.
Absolutely. I'll just tell them that I hired you as mercenaries because we needed the guards here in Mor'Bhaile after the attack.
Yeah, works for me. So, was that sufficient enough? I'm still very confused as to why your mages here didn't want to go into the
Well, they were afraid
crypt.
exactly what happened would happen, and they would be murdered by some magical means. So,
Yeah, that hurt.
yeah.
And I mean, if you had anything to help me out with that, that would be swell.
I'm not a healer, but we could have somebody come and see to you.
It's just like this lingering headache.
All right, we'll have you seen before you leave.
Or just chuck an extra potion somewhere if you have one to spare. I know that you guys are still dealing with ramifications.
Yes. We don't have a lot to spare after the events of yesterday. We've used most of our supply, but I'm sure somebody can help you. You guys head out with her. She takes you back out of the old city into the new city, escorts you around to get you bandaged up, and we're going to cut this one there.
Hello, all. Thank you for listening to Slay the Stars. We hope you enjoyed episode 27. We have a few shout-outs to give and a promo for you. First, thank you again to Fungeon Master for the amazing map. You can find the map on our website, Patreon, and social media. Shameless plug. Follow Fungeon on Twitter at FMaster90 for more maps, fun, and his dope streams. Second, a huge thank you to our friend and patron Jasper for creating our second TBK character. Not only did they create Dahl Swin, but they also drew art for the character that you can also find on our website, social media, and Patreon. Shameless plug. Something tells me that we'll be seeing Dahl again. If you're interested in art commissions, check Jasper out on Twitter at Jeweled Crown. That's at JEWELLEDCROWN. They're a great person and deserve all the love. And finally, we have a promo. The Monsters Playbook is an actual play Monster of the Week RPG podcast where the real world crashes into the paranormal over and over and over again. They tell a story of magic, adventure, and of danger. But first, it's a story about people. There is always some good news and some bad news on the Monsters Playbook. Sounds great. We can't wait to check it out. Thank you all for listening, and here is the promo.
My name is Johnny, and I'm the host, executive producer, and Prince of Lies for the Monsters Playbook. What's the Monsters Playbook? It's an actual play Monster of the Week podcast set in my hometown of Minneapolis, Minnesota, where no monster can hurt you as badly as you can hurt yourself. It's a character-focused adventure where you'll meet Kira Ashwood, a journalist with a cult past she's desperate to atone for, and a secret power hidden even from herself. Casey Davis, a taciturn secret agent becoming disillusioned with the agency she thought she could trust. Theo Nessos, a professional sorceress trying to escape the shadow of her powerful magical family. And Mark Clayton, a pretty haunted introvert who just wants to make sense of his powers and all the weird things that keep happening to him. This is a show where danger could just as easily come from an otherworldly threat as from the fragile emotions that anchor our characters and bind them together. If you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Dresden Files, or any city-set supernatural story with monstrous threats and messy feelings, check out the Monsters Playbook. New episodes every other Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Our awesome intro music is brought to you by the one and only Isaac Vyers. Character designs by the lovely Cam Gonzalez. Produced by our very own Leah Hemrick. Graphics designer, the one, the only, the me, Jen Kearney. And last but not least, our audio engineer, Arthur Polino. Thanks for listening.